From Interior Alaska's most trusted news source, this is the Fbx Evening News.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us. The Senate Finance Committee today heard testimony on a bill that defines which abortions Alaska must pay for under the state Medicaid program.
Senate Bill 49 states the Department of Health and Social Services may not pay for abortion services unless those abortions are medically necessary or the pregnancy was the result of a rape or incest. The bill would define medically necessary abortions as those needed to avoid serious risk to a woman's life or physical health. Payment would not be made for elective abortions.
As far as the primary reason for getting an abortion, we have 4.5% approximately, if you include rape, incest, or physical conditions on this side, and we have 38.3% on this side. These are all the abortions that are being covered by the state of Alaska under Medicaid. That's quite a gap, and it's our reasonable supposition from looking at these statistics that a lot of elective procedures are actually being covered under the current definition of Medicaid, and that's a problem.
Representative Don Young has been receiving a lot of criticism lately. This comes on the heels of an investigation by the House Ethics Committee, which is looking into whether he failed to report gifts on his annual disclosure forms, misused campaign funds, and lied to federal officials. Recently, Young referred to Hispanic migrant workers as, quote, wetbacks, which has caused more spark in the public. Today, Young, the second most senior Republican in the House, issued a statement saying he, quote, meant no disrespect, end quote, by his comment. Young also said he plans to run for re-election next year and said he doesn't know anyone who could do a better job than he does in representing the state.
The deadline to apply for the 2013 Alaska Permanent Fund dividend is this weekend. The application process for PFD checks began January 1st and continues through March 31st at 11:59 p.m. That's this Sunday evening. State officials say the last day to file a 2013 PFD application at one of their 3 locations in Fairbanks, Anchorage, and Juneau ended earlier today. All 2013 paper applications received by the division must be postmarked no later than Sunday, March 31st. That's in order to be accepted as timely filed. However, PFD officials say local postal service will be conducted on Saturday only. Online filing continues through Sunday just before midnight. Officials say all envelopes with applications that are postmarked on April 1st or after will be denied as late applications.
Right. There is no recourse for any application that we get in late. And unfortunately, we always get folks who come in on April 1st who've missed the deadline, and there's really nothing that we can do at that point. So we just encourage everyone to file as soon as possible.
Last minute filing and all.
I am.
Reason you've had since January 1st, you know.
I know. I had trouble getting online with the, I didn't realize it was so easy to get on the signature page, but I've had trouble with my code sending it to the wrong old email addresses, so.
And that's the reason for last
minute filing, yeah.
The amount of the 2013 dividend will not be known until late September. It should be noted that the amount of the 2012 dividend was $878 for each eligible Alaskan.
Yukon Quest Executive Director Marty Sturry has made a decision to make the 2013 season her last as an official. After Sturry got out of the Army, she started with the Quest in 1983 and took part in its creation. Sturry would like to start a new adventure in spending more time with her family. She reflected on some of the proud moments she took part in with this community.
Looking back, I'm amazed at how many people 30 years later are still helping, how much it's grown, and yet how much it's still the same. And to know that you had some small part of that is just amazing. In many other places in the world, to become a part of something and to make a huge change.
All right, well, when we come back, the Heart Walk campaign kicked off today at the Carlson Center.
And a local dance studio visits Los Angeles for an international dance festival. Stay with us.
Good evening and welcome back. Continuing, details are just emerging regarding a motor vehicle accident that occurred yesterday just after noon. Alaska State Troopers, Fairbanks City Police, University Fire, and City Fire all responded to a 3-vehicle crash on University Avenue. The investigation has revealed a white Ford F-150 Osborne construction truck driven by 26-year-old John Whiteley was traveling southbound and crossed over the center line. Whiteley crashed into a 2004 Dodge Durango driven by 57-year-old Joyce Pendergrass. Now, Pendergrass, her sister, and her 3-year-old grandson were extricated from the vehicle and were all taken by ambulance to Fairbanks Memorial with injuries. A third vehicle was also involved but was able to be driven away. Whiteley was cited on scene for the failure to stay in the proper lane of traffic.
The American Heart Association kicked off the 2013 Heart Walk campaign with a celebration for all team leaders and top walkers today at the Carlson Center. The kickoff is meant to energize participants about the cause, connect them with other team captains and top walkers, and provide resources for fundraising efforts. The Fairbanks Heart Walk will be held May 18th, 2013 at Veterans Memorial Park, and based on previous Heart Walks, should generate a substantial turnout. The Heart Walk is co-chaired by Anna Atchison and Lorna Shaw.
This year we're hoping to raise $220,000 and have 3,000 walkers. So Saturday, May 18th should be just a huge swath of people downtown starting at Veterans Memorial Park. And that $220,000 is going to be spent on helping people survive heart attack, stroke, and really live healthier lives. So we'll see it back here in the community.
A recent attempt that called Fairbanks to back out of the Alaska Gas Line Port Authority failed. A voter-directed entity was created to support a large gas pipeline snaking down the middle of the state. On Thursday, the Fairbanks North Star Borough Assembly rejected the resolution, which was pushed by Assemblyman Lance Roberts. Roberts' Port Authority resolution dissolved after much deliberation, some of which revolved around the agency's failure to provide a gas pipeline after 14 years. Assemblyman Mike Dukes was quoted in saying, "We have been promised a gas line by every entity under the sun for 50 years, end quote.
Tonight, students from a local dance studio are boarding a plane to the City of Dreams. Los Angeles is hosting the annual Dance Excellence International Dance Festival. Invitation-only Dance Theater Fairbanks has received theirs and has been rehearsing for weeks to represent the state of Alaska at the festival. Students from the local studio will compete and learn with students from across the globe. Some will even be able to apply for the program, the Young Americans, another invite-only performance education program. The News Center spoke to Program Director Jay Howe, a former professional dancer with Disney, who said the students have worked hard to get there.
I think it's really great because it gives us a chance to grow and to learn, to improve ourselves. And, I like seeing the kids, say, you know what, like, I don't have to say, oh, we're pretty good for Fairbanks. I'd rather say we're pretty good. We're awesome. Not just for Fairbanks, but that we're awesome. We compare ourselves to other people, not just to other studios in Fairbanks, that we really excel.
We will have more on this and other entertainment around the interior tonight on News Center Final with a new feature that's Interiortainment, a new weekly feature at that.
As we told you yesterday, the theme of this year's Tanana Valley State Fair is Salmon-Chanted Evening. There was also a contest for people wanting a place to display their wares at the fair. There were 5 finalists in the first ever Food Vendor Challenge. Fair Association members sampled the wares and voted, with the winner of a space being called Twisted and Squeezed. The vendor, Scott Allison, will be offering assorted foods on a stick.
We're in the competition to get one food vendor spot in the Tanana Valley Fair. We're competing against 5 competitors, and we won. Thanks to all the support from all of our friends, family, and clients that we have here at the salon. Doing things like the fair and festivals is a really fun atmosphere, and I like being part of it.
Close to 90 UAF students were able to return to their dorm rooms Thursday night. Wednesday, Wickersham Hall experienced a power outage and an overnight evacuation. The building's steam heating system went down following a campus-wide blackout. The heating system went down when valves in the building's steam heat system remained open, causing gaskets to fail. However, those damaged parts have since been replaced. Many students were temporarily housed in numerous locations around the campus, while others chose to stay with friends and family.
Crazy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, Joe.
Joe's crazy? Or?
Hey, Joe's a little crazy.
A little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
We all are.
Crazy about sports?
Yes, very much so.
Oh, okay.
So in sports tonight, we got some spring sports to report for the first time, some high school soccer, and a conference realignment that will affect football right here in Fairbanks. That and more coming up. Hello, Interior sports fans. It's Joe Cook here in the sports seat for you on TGIF. It's Friday, so nothing better to do than to talk some sports to get your weekend started. In the past year or so, there has been a lot of conference realignment in college sports. The reorganization of football has now hit the interior. Today, North Pole High School officially announced that the football team will leave the Rail Belt Conference for the new Southeast Conference. The change was discussed in February and finalized a couple weeks ago by the ASAA. Juneau Douglas will also join the Southeast Conference. North Pole will compete against medium-sized schools like Soldotna and Sitka. Instead of schools that have at least 800 students, North Pole has 700. Playing against the big schools resulted in some concussions this past season for the Patriots, who weren't used to the size of their athletes. About $40,000 of the football budget is for travel. That budget is raised by the student athletes. North Pole will play 2 games on 1 road trip. The Patriots will keep the West Valley, Lathrop, and Colony rivalries. We caught up with North Pole head coach Richard Hennard today about the conference change.
We're not taking a step down competitively. We're just getting into a better fit for our competition. And that's kind of the biggest thing to face. But it is tough, you know, like if you ask us, do you want to opt out? Most guys would say, yeah, but then we had to sit back and as a staff, as a coaching staff in a school district, and look at the liability of numbers. If our enrollment is lower, you know, what does that say about the chances for injuries like concussions and things like that? And we had to really take a hard look at the things, and the cutoff for OSA was 800, and we're below that, so ultimately it was that, you know, was the decision.
And we have some high school soccer this evening. The West Valley Wolfpack boys soccer team is in Anchorage for a pair of out-of-conference games. Game 1 was yesterday against Wasilla. The Wolfpack were aggressive and controlled the game with 16 shots on goal to the Warriors 5. West Valley was ahead 1-0 at halftime by way of a header by Mason Jeffries, set up by Connor Smith and David Carr, but a few late errors in the end doomed the Wolfpack in a 2-1 loss in their season opener. Today they played Colony, and we'll have the outcome tomorrow in Saturday Sportscast. And good news continues for the Nanack hockey program after Cor Ordegaard and Adam Henderson received Humanitarian of the Year and Scholar Athlete of the Year awards tonight. Another stellar senior makes his pro debut tonight. Andy Toronto will be playing for the Alaska Aces of the ECHL. Toronto will wear number 44. The Aces played Ontario Reign in California. The Aces are the top team in the ECHL with 48 wins and 103 points. Toronto is the first of 7 UAF seniors to sign a pro contract. Former Nanack and teammate Dustin Molly is already on the Aces active roster. Toronto led the Nanacks in scoring this season with 16 goals. He was a second-team All-CCHA selection and has tallied over 100 career points, 120 total, tying him for 17th all-time on the Blue and Gold's list. The Aces will host San Francisco in the first round of the playoffs in Sullivan Arena starting April 5th. And one of the big events on the Fairbanks calendar is the WIO Games, but this weekend some of the younger athletes are gearing up for the Native Youth Olympics next month. Effie Cochran Charter School is sponsoring a NYO competition this weekend in the seal hop, 2-foot high kick, and other events to help prepare the Randy Smith and Lathrop NYO teams for the state competition on April 25th in Anchorage. These events pass on the athletic Native traditions, and Lathrop sophomore Sean Nicolai has been learning and improving from a year ago.
Already I'm excelling greatly since last year. So it's just all the work is equal to paying off, competing in front of family and friends.
It was hard getting a late start, and so now that I can get these guys started earlier, it's something that they're going to be able to carry on a lot longer and hopefully pass on to other people.
All of these games are just a tribute to the Native way of life and to everyone.
And that'll do it for sports this evening. Thanks for rocking with me for a little while. Come back at 11 for the sports nightcap for Ice Dogs highlights as they take on the Kenai Brown Bears. For more KTVF sports, go to Twitter, YouTube, webcenter11.com, and our mobile app. Stay cool, Alaska. Mike Schultz has your full weather forecast coming up next, and we'll catch you next time.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back, and a big salute to our Alaska military veterans and, of course, all of our veterans and military in the Fairbanks area. What a beautiful day across the interior. Lots of sunshine and temperatures really warm, too. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. Did you see the sun dog last night? Well, Shirley Gunn was able to capture it for us on our photograph. What a beautiful shot that is. One area there, the other area on the other side. And again, thanks again for all those photographs you send. Keep on bringing them in. Mike Schultz at KTVF11.com. Here's what the numbers look like this time of year. The normal high should be around 32, the normal low 5. The record high, 55 in 1939. Record low, 31 below in 1963. Our sunrise and sunset. Well, that works out to 13 hours and 19 minutes, a gain of 7 minutes from yesterday. What's the satellite picture look like today? A lot of moisture over the Prince William Sound area, but you know what? That's where it's staying. Look how everything is pushing off to the east. We're expecting just a few clouds moving in. Maybe some of this moisture might work its way back in tomorrow, give us a few snow flurries, but that's about it. Nothing really heavy expected. Elsewhere across the state, here's what it looks like. And clouds around Juneau, but sunshine at Ketchikan. Cloudy skies in Anchorage, a few clouds around Kodiak, and again, lots of clouds up and down the west coast. Some snow for Nome, but clear skies at Barrow and also for Fort Yukon. Lower 48 weather tonight, where we're looking about, again, some more showers across the Pacific Northwest and around the Texas area. Maybe some of those might become severe. More activity around the Minneapolis area. On the satellite radar, you can see why. Looking at a little moisture moving across the Atlanta area, but again, a big trough of moisture and thunderstorms moving across the central sections of the country. Not much expected on the west coast, so things look pretty good there. What lies ahead for the first part of next week? Well, the jet stream will be once again moving across from the west to the, well, down to the south and then off to the east, but helping to pull cold air across much of the northeast, so they're looking at winter to still continue for the folks there. Well, back to Alaska for tomorrow for the northern sections. Occasional snow at Barrow, snow in Nome, and cloudy skies for Fort Yukon. Here in the interior, we'll see a few flurries possible in the afternoon hours in the Fairbanks area and occasional off and on snow in the Healy area. Over southeast Alaska, it looks like a widespread rainfall for both Juneau and Ketchikan. Over to the southwest, we'll be looking at cloudy skies at Bethel, snow showers in Cold Bay, and rain and snow for Kodiak. And down the south central regions, it looks this way. Again, flurries or sprinkles at Anchorage, rain and snow in Homer, and snow for Valdez. Well, it is a Friday night, which means it's time for our Winter Trails Report. Brought to you by the good folks at Beaver Sports. Warmer temperatures will make slopes and cross-country trails very slick, so be sure and use caution. And you snow machiners, beware of ponds and lakes. They could fall through real easily. Thanks to Beaver Sports. And here's our aurora forecast for tonight. We saw them last night, probably see them again tonight if the clouds don't move in too fast. And our forecast for tonight, looking at 8 degrees for the overnight low, increasing clouds and warmer into the morning hours. Tomorrow's forecast, 35 degrees, becoming cloudy with snow flurries possible. Now on Easter Sunday, possibly some off and on snow shower activity that will continue into Monday. Tuesday, cloudy skies, and then Wednesday and Thursday, partly cloudy to cloudy skies. Temperatures again in the mid-30s, overnight lows in the teens above. Very nice weather. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Mike. And let's recap here because it's a gorgeous weekend. Mike finally brought the weather.
Yes.
So talking sports, there's a ton going on today.
Yeah, you know, you got the Interior Youth Championships going at Birch Hill. That's going Saturday for all the kids. I think, 1997 or later.
Sure.
Do that. Of course, the Ice Dogs, last 2 regular season games going on at the Big Dipper. Just
that is good.
A lot going on.
And there's a lot going on
March
military-wise
Madness.
as well. Outdoor activities. March Madness, for those who are not in the military, basically it's the last hurrah, right?
The last hurrah. Sunday is costume day, so you can, no, it's not just for the military either.
Oh,
it's for
community as
civilians,
well. Okay.
you know, military members alike. You can go out there. You don't even need a pass. You just need your ID registration. You can dress up and go skiing.
Yeah.
I mean, what's better than that?
You know, with these temperatures, everybody's going to be outside this weekend. I'm willing to bet.
So are we going to see you on the slope dressed up?
No, I'm sleeping.
Oh, man. Okay.
That'll wrap up this edition of the Fairbanks Evening News. As always, we're glad you could join us.
Tonight on NBC Nightly News, tough new standards for auto emissions, raising concerns about their possible effect on gas prices. Oh, no. That's next with Brian Williams.
And 6 days a week, you'll find us right here at 6 and 11, and we're at webcenter11.com anytime.
That's right. From all of us here at the News Center, have a great night.
Have a fantastic night.